Good day, everyone. The topic that I will discuss is a discrete probability distribution and its properties. But first, let me define the meaning of discrete probability distribution. A discrete probability distribution counts occurrences that have countable or finite outcomes. This contrasts with a continuous distribution where outcomes can fall anywhere on a continuum. The probability distribution of a discrete random variable x is a list of x's together with the probability that x takes that value in one trial of the experiment. For example, construct a probability distribution for tossing two fair coins. Let x be the number of heads that is observed. So when two coins were tossed, we obtain four outcomes as you can see on our table, which are head-head, head-tail, tail-head, and tail-tail. Based on the situation, we must get the value of the random variable x, which is the number of heads. As we can see from the first table, the first possible outcome was 2 heads. Then both second and third outcomes have 1 head, and then there is no head or 0 for the last outcome. If we are going to get the probability of no heads from 4 outcomes, the result would be 0.25 or 1/4. Then the probability for 1 head would be 0.50 or 1/2. And for the probability of 2 heads to appear would be 0.25 or 1/4 also. Here is the second example. We all know that in rolling a single die we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 as an outcome. All the die rolls have an equal chance of being rolled, 1 out of 6 or 1 over 6. This will give us the probability distribution of 1 over 6 for every outcome. So now, I am going to discuss to you the properties of discrete probability distribution. The first property is the sum of all probabilities should be 1. In symbol, based on the recent example, if we add all the probabilities, the result would be 1. The second property is probability should be confined between 0 and 1. In symbol, probability should be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 1. This only means that each probability should not be lower than 0 or greater than 1. 1 over 6 in decimal is 0.17, and it is not less than 0 and not greater than 1. Now, let us analyze a few examples of distribution and determine if it is a discrete probability distribution or not. Remember the two properties? The sum of all probabilities should be equal to 1 and its probability should be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 1. So, for the first example, each probability is not lower than 0 or greater than 1, so it possesses the second property. Now let us get the sum of all probabilities. 0.05 plus 0.1 plus 0.3 plus 0.6, the sum would be 1.05. Therefore, this is not a discrete probability distribution since the sum of all probabilities is not equal to 1. Second example. As you can see, there is a negative sign on our first probability. Therefore, we can conclude that this is not a discrete probability distribution because based on our second property, the value of probability should not be lower than 0. For our last example, each probability applies to second probability. So now let us check if the sum of all probabilities is equal to 1. 0.30 plus 0.05 plus 0.65 is equal to 1, and it has both properties. Therefore, this is a discrete probability distribution. This will be the end of our discussion, and I hope that you got something from the video. I highly suggest to look for more examples to test and expand our knowledge about the topic. Thank you for watching.